Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, sketch the graph of each linear inequality. Y less than or equals to negative 2x plus 5. So let's see, what does it mean by sketch the graph? Well, basically they want you to graph it. If you notice there's a grid, and that's where we're gonna graph my inequality. This is my linear inequality. Okay, so the question is, how do I graph linear inequalities? Well, linear inequalities is very much like graphing an equation. Okay, very similar. The only difference is that on my equation I do have an equal sign instead of that symbol of less than or greater than and things like that, right? So what we're gonna do first is identify a couple of things that I need over here. Well, first of all, I am going to write down my inequality. And next, I want you to write down how will you write that inequality as an equation. I know it's not an equation, but we want to write it as an equation so that we can start comparing it to the slope and the y-intercept. And honestly, because that will make things a lot easier for us to graph it since we have already done graphing equations. So I am going to change to the equal sign, and everything else I am going to write it exactly the same. Okay, now what I want to do right below that, I want you to write down the slope intercept form for this one. So this will be mx plus b. Okay, so I want you to circle this, and let's see if we know what that plus 5 is representing. The plus 5 is your y-intercept. So that means that I am going to look at the y-axis and I am going to try to find my positive 5, because guess what? That's where I am going to start graphing. Okay? What about the negative 2? What is that? The negative 2 is representing the slope of the line. In this case, the slope of the inequality. Okay? Notice how the slope is negative. So let's write it down over here. It's a negative slope. If it's a negative slope, then I'm expecting for my inequality to look something like this. Why? Because my line or my arrow will be pointing to the left, and it only points to the left when my slope is negative. Okay, so let's see, where am I going to start? I'm going to start at positive 5. Okay, and my slope is negative 2 over 1. I am going to write down a 1 as a denominator so that I can follow the rise over the run. Since the 2 is negative, that means I am going to start by going 2 down. Since the 1 is positive, then I am going to go to the right. Okay, now notice how I haven't decided anything about the inequality symbol. Okay, we'll come back to the inequality symbol right now. So let's write down over here my inequality, just so that I can remember that I need to describe that one. Okay, so let's start graphing it. So according to my information, it says that I'm supposed to start at positive 5. So let's find where the y-axis is, and it's right there. So now I need to find the positive 5, which is going to be right here. Okay, that's my y-intercept. Now I am going to follow the slope, which is 2 down and 1 to the right. So let's do the rise over run. So I'm going to go 2 down. That's 2 down and 1 to the right. This is my next point. Sorry if it looks a little bit messy with the loops, but I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm counting. Okay, so the next one will be 1 and 2. I go straight down and I go 1 to the right. I am going to go 2 down again and 1 to the right. 2 down, 1 to the right. Since I think I got it, then we don't need to do the loops, right? Just remember that you're going to count 2 straight down and one to the right. One of the mistakes that I see with the students is that they want to count that point as a 1 and they just move 1. And they say, that's 2, miss. You don't count where you're standing. Does that make sense? Like, think about you're standing right there. You're not gonna, if you're standing right here, you are not gonna count that one as a step. I count the next one as a step. That's 1 and 2, and 1 to the right, 1 and 2, and 1 to the right. Okay? Now, if I want to find more points, all I need to do is continue using the rise over run. But now I'm going to do the opposite because I'm going on the opposite direction. So instead of going down, I'm going to go up. And instead of going to the right, I'm going to go to the left. So I'm not changing the rise over run, guys. I need for you guys to understand that. And if you want to, maybe what we can do is we can connect these points already. So let's connect them. Because now you know where the pattern is going. Like if you were to stretch that line, it will go more and more to the top, right? But you know what? Let me come back to that connection of the dots. So I'm not going to connect it yet. And I'll explain to you why in a minute. I just wanted for you guys to see the pattern that it was following. Does that make sense? Because now if I see that way, I know that it's going to the left. So let's follow the pattern. So I am going to go 2 up and 1 to the left. 2 up and 1 to the left. Okay, so we're not done yet because even though I already have the points that belongs to my inequality, I still need to decide whether it's going to be a solid or a dashed line. That's the reason why I erased the one that I did earlier, because I need to decide what's going to happen according to my inequality symbol. Okay, so this is my inequality symbol. And also I'm not done because I'm supposed to shade it. Remember, you're going to shade either above or below. Okay, so let's look at my inequality. My inequality symbol reads, we are going to read it as less than or equal to. Now, the fact that I see the word equal to should remind me of something very important. First of all, if my inequality has the little line that refers to the equal sign, then that means that my line will be a solid line. So I can connect all the points, make it look like a solid line. Second, since my symbol says less, think about what less means. Less cannot be above, because when something is less, we're talking about something lower, right? Okay, lower means below. So what does it mean by below? Well, it means that the shaded will be below the half plane. Okay, so what it's important for us to follow here are these two. First of all, it needs to be a solid line, and then it's going to be shaded below. Okay, those are the two things that I need for you to remember. So what we're going to do next, now we're going to connect the points. Okay, so let's connect them. Let's connect them the best we can. Notice how if I show you an arrow on the top, it's pointing to the left. Yes. If it points to the left, it means that my slope is a negative slope, which is true because it's right here, negative slope. Is that right? Well, since we took care already of the solid line, now I need to decide what do they mean by below, shaded below. Well, I need for you to go back and find the y-intercept. And my y-intercept, it's a positive 5, which is right here. Is that right? Okay. So it says that I need to look for the numbers that are below positive 5. Okay. So below positive 5 it will be positive 4, positive 3, positive 2. Do you see where I'm going? I'm going below positive 5. Okay, so my shaded region will be right there below that number. So this will be my answer right here. So that will be my answer